Welcome in Wednesday edition, Blue Sky Live here with you this morning. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio, probably in our final pre-Christmas rush of the portal season. Christmas 1 week away here on this December 18th. So we'll talk some college football. One of our old buddies got a new head coaching job in the last 12 to 18 hours. Got one of those. Phil Longo, new head coach, Sam Houston State, back where it all began. You know, that's how we learned of Phil back in the day. So got that going on. Had a interesting bowl game last night. Memphis and Rich Rodriguez's new locale there in West Virginia.
I didn't make it to that.
You didn't catch all that game last night?
I didn't get there.
We'll follow up. We'll tell you a little bit about that and more coming up here today. Again, Blue Sky locations all over the state of Mississippi, up and down I-55 throughout North Mississippi as well. We got Sweet Daddy's locations too. Remember, if you ask them nicely, they'll smoke your turkey for the Christmas season if you so wish. You're doing the turkey, the kind of the traditional route. A lot of people doing other stuff, though, for that Christmas dinner this year. But again, Blue Sky locations, Sweet Daddy's locations, lunch specials here locally, and plenty more. And again, Clark Ford Studio.
Well, Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no haggle. There's no hassle. You just get your quote, and the rest is up to you. You can shop it around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Guests join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi, providing expert care for growing bodies. So visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
The other thing, too, I forgot to mention this, starting on Friday, December 20th, you buy one car wash, you get one free there at all Blue Sky locations across Mississippi as well. So I've got that going on. All right, let's go. So Ole Miss picks up, two commits yesterday. You had Stribling from Oklahoma State, the wide receiver. It's all kind of running together a little bit, so apologies there on that one.
I mean, if you had stopped and said, tell me what happened yesterday, even though I wrote about it, I think I would have eventually recalled. It's sort of just like process in, process out in your brain. Isn't it a little bit? Like you're like, okay, because you're constantly asking about, well, what's next?
Yeah, there's no ability to stop and go, so, okay, that means this. You're just on to the next, and at some point then you look up at the complete damage and picture and go, oh, okay, this is where they stand at this point. That's how that's how that works. But yes, they did pick up Stribling from Oklahoma State yesterday. Big receiver, kind of I'm not comparing him to Trey Harris, but that's sort of that clone as far as what you would hope for from a size standpoint, ratio there with him. Is it Dazon? Is that how you pronounce it? Dazon Stribling? Is that what we're going with?
I think it's Dejon.
Dejon? Okay.
I'll ask him at some point.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, we've called some guys wrong for like 2 years into their tenure, so it's all good. I mean, back in the day, Austin Bousfield didn't want to correct you, so he just let you say the wrong thing forever. He's being nice.
I mean, I do that.
Fine.
There are people in my life that still say McCready, and I just don't correct them.
We are 20 how many ever years into SEC press conferences, and he is still Mike Bianco every single time from the moderators. And he used to kind of correct it, and now he's resigned. He goes, okay.
You do finally
hand me the mic, and it's cool. It's okay. And then Antonio Kite, the former Alabama defensive back, the former Auburn defensive back. He signed with Alabama out of Anniston, I believe, if that is correct.
That's correct.
And then was there 2 years, played very sparingly, went to Auburn this past season, was in their rotation, mostly at corner, actually, which I didn't realize, so I looked it up last night in Pro Football Focus. He scored a touchdown on a muff punt against Missouri in like week 8. And that was the last action of the season for him, as Auburn removed him from the roster for reportedly missing practices, I see, from AL.com, sourcing Jay Tate on that from the report there with AL.com last night. So that was their two pickups. Obviously, Ole Miss was trying to get starters, get depth in the secondary, and then still got that kind of that gaping spot at linebacker they have to fill with Pooh Paul now gone. Lane says yesterday he's the only player not playing in the bowl game. Everyone else there'll be some pitch counts, but everybody, maybe some severe pitch counts, but everyone else at least suiting up. Outside of Micah Pettis, obviously, too. He has been no longer with the.
I really want to talk about Micah at some point.
Do you?
Because I think it's fascinating. I'm genuinely happy for Micah, but it's wild.
I mean, it's that related is on the. Yes, you do need kickers, Sammy. Ole Miss needs to pick up some specialists here in this situation,
and they may have. I don't know. Unlike
the special teams coach was celebrating on Twitter a couple days ago, but I have not seen a name pop up from that.
And to be honest, I haven't asked.
The top of your mind wasn't, hey, what kicker is it?
No. Georgia State plus 40. Who did they play? Auburn?
Yeah, Georgia State played Auburn last night.
They covered the 40?
No, I don't think so. They were only up 20-something last I looked.
Okay. So Georgia State covered the 40. Good for them.
They did. I mean, does that get you a free T-shirt, like steak knives? What
get you money if you bet it on it.
Well, okay.
You know.
I mean, we'll go there real quick, and I'll get back to football because we got plenty of time. We're just kind of hanging out. Look, this is the Wednesday prior to Christmas. It sort of is what it is today. But rinse, repeat. We keep saying this over and over again. Another really good night for the SEC in basketball last night. It just continues to steamroll at this point. Ole Miss knocked off Southern last night, 74-61, in quite the nondescript game at the Pavilion last night.
Woof.
Joe and Murray, 18 points to lead the Rebels there in that one. Ole Miss led by 9 at the break. Outscored them by 4 in the second half, and again, won 74-61, not covering the 23.5.
Did not.
If you'd like to bet on Southern yesterday, you would have been a winner. Tennessee beat the holy hell out of Western Carolina yesterday, 84-36. The Volunteers over the Catamounts yesterday.
Yep.
Auburn wins. No. Never mind. Auburn covered. Came back, went on a huge run in the second half, and won 100-59. I apologize to the Tigers. They were. They did not look like they were covering for the longest time yesterday.
Bruce knew the number.
Think you knew the number?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Grimes says that Auburn made a 3 with 17 seconds left to win by 41.
Oh, that sucks.
There was no just hold the ball and dribble it out.
Those buildings in Vegas. ...
Florida is up big early. Carolina made a run, and then Florida pulled away late, winning 90-84 in the final minutes there over North Carolina.
I watched
the Gators now 11-0 on the season.
I watched a decent amount of my Gators, and
they're good.
They're good. They got some dudes.
It is the Jumpman Classic, by the way. All the teams in the tournament are Jordan Jumpman Nike apparel users. So it's Michigan, Oklahoma, Florida, North Carolina. I believe that is correct. And then in overtime,
I wouldn't hate a flyer on Florida Final Four odds. Florida. Now, they might go lose in the second round. That's not really the point. I'm going to set a flyer. I wouldn't mind having just a thing in the back of my wallet with Florida national title odds. They sort of have the pieces that you would need.
As much as you can to win a tournament that is so matchup luck.
Yeah.
Play. I mean, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah. I mean, they could lose in a first round game.
Yeah, sure.
But I kind of like their team.
South Carolina last night. Clemson hits a 35-foot three with 0.3 seconds left to force overtime.
Yep.
And then Carolina wins 91-88 in overtime, knocking off the top number 25 Clemson last night. Yeah, it was pretty good basketball if you had the TV on last night, because you watched the last 2 or 3 minutes of Florida, North Carolina, and then flip it over and immediately went into the end of South Carolina and Clemson at that point.
And then you went to LSU Stetson, and that was a little different.
Yeah, I did not see the beginning of that game, but I did look up at one point and saw 47-12, I believe.
Yes.
It's what I saw.
47-10 at one point. Okay. But then Stetson started closing the gap.
That's what I thought I saw. Missouri wins, Mississippi State wins, and then, the LSU Tigers win 99-53 over the Hatters last night in Baton Rouge, I would assume. I do not remember what court they were on, but I'm going to assume that
was in Baton Rouge.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's that. Then tonight, Oklahoma, Michigan in that thing in Charlotte. Michigan, a 3.5-point favorite against Oklahoma tonight. Oklahoma 10-0, by the way, still undefeated.
Yep.
ranked 14th in the country. Alabama is playing a road game at North Dakota tonight.
I think he's from North Dakota, right?
Oates, is he?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's something like that.
So they're like just throwing a bone.
Well, and the big white kid, I can't.
Grant Nelson.
Isn't he from North Dakota?
That was my thought when I first heard it. I was thinking that might be.
This might be a deal. Hey, we'll go play a game at your place
because we took your player. He's from Waterton, Wisconsin.
But he played at North Dakota, didn't he?
No, I'm
North
talking
Dakota
about
State?
Nate Oates.
Okay.
And he played at Marantha Baptist or something. I don't know.
Grant Nelson's from North Dakota.
He's from North Dakota. Yeah. But he played for North Dakota State.
Right. But they're playing North Dakota.
They are.
Probably because he has friends and family that's
he was born in Devils Lake, North Dakota.
Well, that's kind of cool.
North Dakota's the Fighting Sioux.
Sure.
Do I have that correct?
How far is Devils Lake from the University of North Dakota?
Let's find out. Devils Lake, North Dakota, to University of North Dakota.
Is that in Bismarck?
It's in Grand Forks. It's an hour and 22 minutes.
Okay.
So he's playing an hour and 22 minutes from home.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we can go there real quick. I saw the frustration on the board.
Where are we going?
You can't complain about December home games against Southern from a crowd standpoint.
No.
Oxford, when the students leave and people are off and people go back home.
It's awesome.
Well, yes. But the town is no longer 90,000 people per day. It is a much smaller
It's
crowd.
fantastic is what it is.
You're playing Southern. And in American culture, and especially Southern culture, people have a lot going on the week before Christmas. There's parties, there's get-togethers, there's stuff. You're just not drawing a crowd. There's a reason they play these games right now, and you can't gripe about them.
I've got more social obligations in the next 6 days than I have in the other 359 combined.
You're putting them all together in one little area here.
Yes. I have stuff. Starting tonight, I have stuff every night through Christmas.
Do you really?
Yes. So I'm sure some kid's going to commit to something, and I'm going to be like, I don't know.
Is your inner Clark Griswold coming out a little bit with like kids coming back home and stuff like that? I mean, where are we mentally with this Christmas?
Well, I was trying last night. I told you I got yelled at.
Yeah.
Carson had to go to the JV soccer game. He got back into the first quarter of Thunder Bucks. Thunder, I think, went 4 for 30 something from 3 last night. Lost to the Bucks.
They went what from 3?
It was like 4 for 32 or something. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh. Yeah, they only scored 81 points.
Yeah, but they had their worst offensive game of the year. But it doesn't count.
It literally 0.
This is how you guys feel about bowl games.
It did not.
If your team wins the bowl game, you're like, hey, look at the
There's
cool
a trophy.
But if you lose the bowl game, you go, it didn't count
anyway.
And in this case, it literally doesn't count.
No.
The Thunder were 20-5 going into last night.
Each player lost $300,000. That's what happened last night.
Yes. I didn't, though. And so the team remains 20-5.
Yes.
It's kind of cool. No wonder y'all like bowl games. They don't count unless you win, at which point you get a trophy. That's pretty neat. Yeah, he came in and he was watching, and then I was on the phone, and yeah. So inner Clark Griswold, I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Because like Caroline's got 2 friends here tonight.
Okay.
Campbell and her boyfriend get to Oxford tomorrow. I got to go to Carson's game tomorrow. They play at South Haven at 5. Got to bring him and Aka back home, and then I'm supposed to meet Campbell and them out.
Yeah.
And then we're doing our big family dinner Friday night. And then we're doing.
You chose to do that out instead of at home.
Well, the kids wanted to go out.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So, yeah, whatever. It's fine. And then we're going to
first 9 people to talk to Neal on Friday get free subscriptions to rebelgrove.com, by the way. Kidding.
We're going to my parents on Saturday night. And then Sunday night, my brother will still be here, but Tyler has roped me into doing our year-end show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On Sunday?
Yeah, like at 6:00. And I told him yesterday, I said, I'm not.
Are you sure that's okay?
I looked at him and I said, I'm not doing 3 hours.
Are you sure that's okay?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay.
No, it promises to not be okay. But I do remind people.
That's the 22nd.
I do remind people in my life sometimes that, okay, but you guys like money.
Okay.
You know, I have to remind them that sometimes that you seem to like money. And then you wake up and it's Monday the 23rd.
I feel like the calendar's condensed, and I have no idea why. Like I can't figure out why I feel
more than ever before.
Yeah, I look up and I go, oh my God, it's the 18th. It's kind of those days I like, but I'm like, we're not doing anything yet though. We're not here. And it's work
the
related.
Calendar. It's work related.
Are you doing everything earlier because Campbell's going to his family for Christmas? Like what are y'all doing?
I mean, not that anybody cares about this, but to answer your question, they're coming here, and then his family's doing Christmas at the beach.
Okay.
And so she's driving down to the beach on Sunday.
Okay.
And then coming back here on Christmas Eve.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're not married.
Well, no, I get that. I was just like with your parents. That's typically something that happens Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Oh, that's because my brother's
okay.
coming in Friday and then leaving Monday.
Okay, that's what I wasn't sure about.
So my brother might join me and Tyler on the show.
Well, because I was about to say, I mean,
yet.
Look, I really like your mother, but typically they don't move everything around for a daughter's boyfriend. So that's why I was curious there on that. So
yeah,
okay, that's all. But that makes sense. You got a kid in town. So let's do it now. And I didn't mean her mother. I meant anybody from that generation or overseeing anything whatsoever. It was not a direct shot at Judy.
No, just kind of is what it is.
You can,
and so like Christmas comes around, and then the Ole Miss Memphis game's on the 28th, and then I'm leaving for Jacksonville the day after that, and then you look up and I get back from Jacksonville, and the next day there's an SEC basketball game. I get back on the 3rd, and Ole Miss plays Georgia at home on the 4th, and then you're just like, boom, here we go, and then you're back into the portal stuff. I'm not complaining,
and
but
5 more days of even getting into the portal.
Yeah,
because of Ole Miss playing on the 2nd, you can get in the portal through the 7th.
So it's conceivable that half the Ole Miss roster jumps in the portal. They're not, but
they're not.
You'll have to be on the lookout for it. Somebody will get in the portal. I mean, I feel I'd bet on, if you told me, hey, you can bet on nobody gets in the portal or somebody gets in the portal, just without knowing anything, I'd bet, well, somebody gets in the portal.
Question that keeps popping up all over Twitter and the message board. I have heard nothing about Ole Miss regarding the Branch brothers out of USC.
No.
And they have a no contact tag in the portal, so they know exactly where they're headed.
99% of the time, that's what that tells you.
Probably already have the money agreed upon at this point, if you're looking at those.
And speaking of the money,
I'm going there after the break in a minute.
Wow at the money. Just wow.
Everyone has been telling us for months, you're going to be shocked. And yet I'm still shocked. Like, I was prepared for it. It takes a lot to shock me. And yet I'm there. And I want to talk about why after the break in a minute. But if this ever comes out and we have a Sportico for college football, I want to see how you guys respond. Maybe you go, yeah, whatever, it's cool. But I'm
confused.
Where you see all the contracts. You know every number.
Oh, gotcha. I should have known.
You can go to the NFL with Sportico and see exactly what every contract plays out.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. I wish I'd had like 1 year of eligibility at some point somewhere. Could have turned that into something. Somebody offer you something.
I wish I could have just been.
I mean, I know a couple Sunbelt guys who barely played at their former schools that they're making some money.
Yeah.
At the next place.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing. Ain't peanuts. I mean,
look. My boy Zach Calzada.
I forgot that dude existed until you mentioned it the other day.
Zach Calzada's been at Texas A&M, Auburn, and Incarnate Word. Now, he's got some talent. He's fine.
He's all right.
He's okay. He's better than me. He's going to Kentucky, and I feel quite confident in saying he got well into 7 figures to play at Kentucky.
And probably be a backup if they finish up what we think they're doing.
Yeah.
Because they want Malik Murphy, and he would be the starter.
Presumably.
So you're putting potentially $4 to $5 million on a quarterback payroll.
Yeah. Yeah. And some dudes are getting $4 million by themselves to play quarterback.
They are. Well, we talked about that the other day. I mean, to me, that actually made some sense with the guy at Tulane, now at Duke. His name is escaping me. Starts with M. He,
I can't remember. It doesn't matter. Mensa.
There you go. Well, he was a Mensa candidate for agreeing to the deal. I'll give him that. I mean, A1 there.
Yeah,
but again, you're using
the rumor is he sliced his arm open and signed it with blood. Yes, and I don't blame him.
But again, you're using 20 to 25% of your payroll on a quarterback. Okay, I mean that now. If you just simply living in those terms, that makes sense to me.
NFL teams do it.
Yes, I mean I go okay. That makes sense.
I asked Lane Kiffin, by the way, wouldn't it yesterday?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make sense to move the thing to April? And he's like, yeah, I mean, there's some problems with it.
There's problems with anything.
So I haven't read it yet, but I saw where Topmeyer has a column out today about just get rid of spring football and fix the calendar. And I basically agree.
Do some OTAs and yeah.
You don't have to have spring football anymore.
Lane's gonna have a carnival again, right?
Yeah, but the question is not the carnival. The question is what about the other practices? Yeah. Because he's kind of done the dog and pony thing with the other practices.
Less contact than most. Less real practices.
Basically none.
Mental work.
Yeah. But why not just go all in on that?
Yeah.
Do you really need pads?
We got a bunch of portal guys. Let's get them into the system a little bit. Okay, good. Sweet. Moving on.
But would the world end if you didn't have all those guys until the end of May? I mean, I'm asking. I don't know the answer.
There would be a negative to that, but maybe not enough to offset the positives that would come with it.
I mean, sure. That's the question.
Yeah, sure.
The question is not, are there some negatives? Because
anything has negatives. Yeah,
Lane's answer was like, there's some things that are bad about it, but yeah, that would
fix some stuff.
It's better than this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good thought. You've had Wendy's nugs dipped in sauce. If you had them covered in sauce, Wendy's new saucy nugs take the crispy and spicy nugs you love and turn them up to 11. Choose between flavors like buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm. If you're a real heat seeker, try spicy ghost pepper. Only on Wendy's signature spicy nugs. I dare you. 7 delicious ways to try the nugs you already love. Pick a flavor, grab some napkins, prepare to nug like you've never nugged before. For a whole new way to nug, it's got to be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by overpriced wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I heard that all Mint Mobile wireless plans are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them, it all makes sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they sell wireless service online. They don't have retail stores or salespeople. Instead, they deliver premium phone plans directly to you. So say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. So use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. Bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. You can ditch the overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/MPW. That's mintmobile.com/MPW. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/MPW. $45 upfront payment required. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speeds slower above 40 gigabytes on the unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. We're also brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer at 662-8011-777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern 662-429-4429. I'll have a post-game column to you from Jacksonville, January the 2nd. That'll be brought to you by Window Hero. From window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, and everything in between, Window Hero has the experience, equipment, and expertise to make your property look and feel brand new. It's windowhero.com or 662-510-7077. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting. See what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com.
Podcast is brought to you by AnySpark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available. Whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends, they offer both residential and business packages with speeds of 2 gigabits or more. Or register for service. That's AnySpark.com. AnySpark. Get connected. Stay local. This segment brought to you by Masterclass. Been telling you about that for the last week. A little more than that. So if you're checking out the NFL, checking out all the different ways to get ahead and little betting, little situations there with Masterclass. Josh Allen, fun to watch this season over the last 5 games. 8 touchdowns. He's probably cemented the MVP thing here as they are going into the final weeks of the season. 3 weeks left. And he helped knock off the Detroit Lions in that critical game last week. So information on Josh Allen and more. Masterclass there online. And again, this segment presented by Masterclass. I'm having a hard time, and we don't know the answer. So, we've done this constantly of we have to get some sample sizes. We have to see some proof of concepts to really know what we're looking at in real time. And things have changed so much in every year of the portal era as far as where we are, where the money is, where it's coming from. And with the fact of rev share coming in, it's a completely from the ground up situation. We know nothing from the past that's telling us anything about the present or the future on where this is going. Nothing. You can't take last year and relate to this at all.
No.
You can't take anything and relate to this at all. So what I want to know,
I think that's one of the things that frustrates fans a little bit.
Yeah,
is that this happened last year? Yeah, this is a new year.
So
completely different.
Point being is what I want to see, because you're talking about these numbers, and you're right. You've got quarterbacks making $3-4 million, whatever the numbers are that you want to throw to it. Single year, by the way.
And a reminder before you go forward. This is critical.
Yep.
Teams. You have until the 28th, just by nature, to get in the portal. So there's still guys that are on teams that are going to get in the portal. Once your team loses, so there are these playoff games coming up
this weekend.
So those guys still have time. But there will be games on January the 1st. Ole Miss plays January the 2nd. The guys that play for Ole Miss and Duke have until the 7th to get in the portal. The guys that play in the Citrus Bowl, in the ReliaQuest Bowl, in those games, they have until the 6th. Yeah. So you will see, promise, a lot of guys jump in the portal in January.
Yes. We're not done. More players coming. And that's kind of where I'm at here is I want to see how I guess I'm saying the calendar, but my point in that is you're seeing all this money early. Because in traditional sense, I understand it, is a player gets this, it comes out publicly what he got, or his agent knows what he got, and suddenly if you are a player in the portal at his position, you go, well, I'm better than him, so I want the same amount, or I want this. And it's running all these prices up like crazy on ask because they're seeing someone of similar value or a similar program signing them get that amount of money. Here's the rub in that, is that every school in the country doesn't have $30 million to spend. They just don't, at least not yet.
Agreed.
The rev shares for every school is somewhere around 15, 16 million-ish for football.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. And it's a lot. Way more than they had, and they are spending it. And it just takes one school to make you their priority, and they overspend on 3-4 players, and you're one of those 3 or 4, and you get all the money. Okay, fine. My question is, what happens in like 2 weeks when teams have already done the overspend on all their players? Because you can only do that so many times. If you've got, let's say you got 16 million, and I spend $4 million on my quarterback, and I give a wide receiver $1.5 million, one wide receiver, and then I got to retain my current team. So let's say that takes $8 million, $9 million just to give them a little more and pay them something. And I got like $4 million left, and then there's an offensive tackle. Let's give him $1.5 million. Let's do this. I'm out of freaking money.
Yeah.
So
now it's time to call the fans.
Well, it is, and you're right. And maybe it's as simple as that. But every school or a lot of schools are going to overpay for 2 or 3 dudes, and then they're going to kind of run out. So what happens? I mean, some pretty good players that wait, they're either going to have very few options because everybody's capped out, if you will.
Yeah.
Or 2, you're going to have some people trying to renegotiate and even cut from the guys they're signing at this point.
No.
Yeah, sure.
Chase.
Come
sure. On.
Those contracts are like, I mean, okay, sure. Like, everyone is spending all the money up front right now. So what the hell happens in 3 weeks? That's my question.
You call up the fans and ask for more money.
And that player's mad because his is tied to NIL, not to rev share.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got to go out and do the dog and pony show. The rubber chicken circuit.
Yeah, so there's 2 types of payments. One is the rev share payment, which is just salary.
Straight cash.
Pay for play.
Yeah.
And then there's, on top of that, you can pay technically NIL. But come July the 1st, there will supposedly be a oversight board / committee / organization that can come in and, for lack of a better word, audit
and hire a third-party arbitration person that the NCAA, the conferences, and the schools agree upon.
Yes. And that group or entity or whatever can come in and basically audit your NIL. And so they could come in and go, all right, so you're paying Johnny Johnson $400,000 in NIL. Can you show me what Mr. Johnson did to earn that $400,000? And if the answer is, well, not really, you've already paid that $400,000, so now that $400,000 comes out of your rev share, and you could technically be penalized. How that works, I don't know. Don't ask me. We'll see. We haven't done this yet.
He entertained the masses on the court. That's what he did.
But that's part of the rev share.
He wore our jersey. You know how many people that marketed to?
I understand. No, but now he needs to go be the grand marshal at the
Christmas parade
yes. Or something. I mean, and so he needs to do like paid interviews. But if he doesn't want to show up for the paid interviews, and they don't, that won't answer. I was talking to someone last night. I was laughing about the original Chance Campbell show, where I told Chance, I'm like, I have no idea what to pay you.
Oh God!
And now that wouldn't even, that amount of money
for that commitment.
Yeah, it was roughly $10,000. That amount of money would not even get a phone call.
Hey, I need you every Sunday for 13 weeks or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, we did 4 of those. 5 if you include Peyton Chatney.
Yeah.
There's no money in them now. I mean, there's no the kids don't want to do them. I understand. I don't want to do them either. I mean, frankly.
Chance, Troy, Davison, Peyton,
Mason Brooks.
and Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, there's no, you couldn't.
Just couldn't even pique their interest.
Not even, you couldn't even get a baseball player to have their interest piqued.
I think so.
Mm-mm. Not for that amount of money. No, I think they want more than that. Where you're on to something, and I think you're really on to something, and I'm interested in this, is all of these kids and their agents. So the agents are desperately trying. This is based on a little bit of what I'm hearing, and then me sort of putting 2 and 2 together. And I'm freely tell you that I'm not great at math. So I could be missing some of this, okay?
Okay.
But what I kind of think is you've got all of these agents that are desperately trying to separate themselves from other agents. Well, there's only one way to do it, and that's to get good deals for your players.
Yeah.
And now you have players. There is no contract structure. So in the NFL, for example, if you're the first pick in the draft, you're going to make more than the guy who's the 20th pick in the draft.
Yeah, sure.
It just is. And everybody understands that. So the guy who's the 20th pick in the draft might put a Tom Brady-sized chip on his shoulder for the rest of his career and go, the 19 teams that skipped over me, I'm making it my purpose in life to destroy you. And then go earn money down the road. But it's understood that, okay, yeah, but you were the 20th pick in the draft, so that's where you slot in.
Right.
That kind of negates a lot of the locker room stuff.
Yeah, he can't go, nope, you pay me 1-1 or I'm not playing.
Right. Yeah. It sort of negates that. You have an agreed-to salary structure that's part of a collective bargaining agreement. Well, you don't have that in college right now. So the guy that's the running back from wherever, he goes, I'm better than that guy. I'm better than him. I deserve, and he got what? He got 1.5. I want 1.5. And so as long as in the early part of the process, people are like, we'll pay you.
But it's not infinite.
I mean, I heard of a specific SEC-related case yesterday where a kid at his position, he heard that he got a certain amount of money, and he went and got in the portal. He's like, well, then I can get that too. And maybe he can. But my point is, all of these kids are asking for these big numbers, and now you're starting to have to sort of wait and hope, I think, for the market to bring the prices down. And this is where I think chemistry and culture and stuff becomes a real issue in college. So to your point, the kid that waits till January the 9th or 10th or 11th, maybe
not a ton of room.
Maybe he doesn't get what he thought he was going to get. And he's not pissed off at hey, I got drafted 20th. He's pissed off at his agent. He's pissed off at everybody that he didn't get what he wanted. And then he gets to his new school where he doesn't know a damn soul, in a new town where he's lost, in a new building. He doesn't know anybody. And he's just in general pissed off. And so you walk in and you find out that, well, they've already got people here that make more than me, or I think they make. They have a structure problem.
This is early bird gets worm, because if you were in the front end of this, you had the most schools available to you with the most money, and your only market comparisons were overpays at that point as far as new schools. Over time, the market has no choice but to regulate a little bit. Maybe not a ton, but a little bit. So if you're at the very beginning, the world is your oyster. Because the only guys who have moved for huge contracts, or yet they wouldn't have picked somewhere else. Take Kevin Concepcion, the North Carolina State wide receiver.
Right.
I don't think he has picked a school yet, but he was one of the very first people that jumped in the portal. He was the first big name until Eric Singleton took over as the new big name in wide receivers. And a lot of schools looked at it and went, he's a possession receiver. I don't know. He's not worth that amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gotten scrambled a little bit here. So he's kind of waited and going, nope, I'm worth that, and I'm whatever, and I'm not taking it. And suddenly ball's starting to fall. Nobody's jumping there on him for whatever reason that's the case. But somebody who has a little more value, look at the prices we're already seeing. As soon as they jumped in, boom, 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 boom. I mean, again, I do not have it on the record. I am respecting all of Micah Pettis' privacy right now. Dude is about to get a ton of money. And all jokes aside, I mean, I know you guys bristle and do all these things, but he's a 3-year starter with a big body, and other people go, yeah, 100%. And I mean, we're talking Hoyne. And
I mean, 7 figures.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
He has 7-figure offers from multiple schools. I can say that. And
Grind, you should go ahead and get upset, buddy.
About what?
He says if Auburn pays Singleton, he's going to be upset. Go ahead and get upset. Get it over.
You think that's happening?
I do.
You think he's going to Auburn?
If you made me bet today, I'd bet Auburn, and I would bet it's roughly $1.5 million.
Minimum.
At a minimum, yeah. If you told me it's 1.8,
I would set you an over-under at like 1.65, 1.7.
I'd probably go over.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I would do.
And again, so let's use him as an example. If Hugh Freeze and the people at Auburn go, we just have to have him. and they're willing to pay that price. Well, now you're establishing market, right?
You paid a guy $1.8 million who is fast as hell but can't catch the football. He drops footballs.
But it doesn't.
And he doesn't play corner.
But if he makes 1.75,
I know.
Right? That's
But he's the perfect setup for everything we're talking about because he gets in the middle of the season. Everybody knows because he's so high profile that he made $1.8 million. And then in the middle of the season, his drop rate's like 19%. And some other cat for Auburn is making like $220,000, and he's got 32 catches for 642 yards. He's going,
I'm sure
he'll
handle that very rationally.
That's my point. You go, well, you're paying dipshit over here, whatever, and he can't even catch the football. You know what I mean? Like, just.
And in this case, like, everybody's taking some shots at Hugh. And I normally love to take shots at Hugh, but in this case, listen, Hugh's in a big boat. He's in a big boat of people kind of making emotional decisions. Because the programs, I'll give you an example. I hate to do this because it leads to all the crap. Like, Arkansas is letting a lot of guys go. Okay? And I talked to someone around there yesterday, and they're trying to put valuations on guys, and guys are asking for more than they think they're worth. Doesn't mean that they're right. It doesn't mean that they're right. They could be completely wrong, but they're putting valuations on people, and when people are getting more elsewhere, they're letting them go. And then they're bringing in their own people, their new people, and they're putting valuations on them and trying to decide what those people are worth. It's a scoreboard business. They'll keep score. They might be right. They might be wrong. They might be some mix of right and wrong. I don't know. We'll see, right? But if you're Auburn and you're Hugh and you're the people there and you're like, we need this slot receiver with elite speed, and this is what it costs to get him, and we have just decided that we're winning this auction, damn it.
You can go win the auction.
You can go win the auction, and and you start establishing precedent. They might, and listen, maybe he starts catching the ball. Maybe he has this monster season and he gets the game winner against Georgia, and it was worth it. Nobody at that point goes, I can't believe we paid that Singleton kid $1.8 million. No, they go, whoa, look at him, War Eagle about to get him. And everybody's excited, and they're doing the thing about family, and he came here for family, and no, he came here for $1.8 million.
Well, I mean, no Ole Miss fan looked at it and went, God, why are we paying Walter Nolan?
No.
Went, go. Worth every penny.
And Walter, I think I basically know what Walter got. And if in this market here's the thing. So this is what gets interesting. If Walter were in the market this year, 12 months after, because he signed last year on Christmas Eve. So if he was in the market right now, I think he would get at least double.
I was going to say closer to 250 to 300%.
Yeah, and I was going to say at least double and maybe 3 times what he got a year ago. So the question is, what is the market in December of 2025? I don't know. Beats me.
And he would have gotten that because we have rev share now. So many more schools have.
Sure.
Because what you're missing too, Ole Miss, Georgia, Alabama, at least in the current setup for even with rev share being a thing coming, they're working off essentially the same budget. I mean, it's going up a little for inflation and things like that, but it's essentially the same budget.
I mean, Ginger, think of how much he will enjoy the pregame prayer circle.
He will.
But hopefully he'll tweet it out.
But a good example right now is Texas Tech. They didn't have a ton of money beforehand.
Right.
Well, suddenly all they're seeing is, hold on a minute, we got $15 million more, and they're spending it like a kid who has $15 million more.
And they have people on top of that, right?
So like they went from like $4 million to 19. I'm making up numbers, but $4 to 19 million. Well, suddenly they're going, well, man, who cares if we give this guy $2 million? Fun coupons. Sure. Like, here we go.
Yeah, it's a lot of that.
And that's how you end up here. So, all right, continuing in a second. First, G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer MedSync. For your prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. You have everything you need when you need it from G&M, so let them take care of you, whether it's in Holly Springs or Oxford. Again, that is 662-236-2222.
We're brought to you by Grenada Home Center. They've got paints by Benjamin Moore, Pittsburgh Paints, Farrell, Calhoun, flooring of any and all types, stone countertops, whether you're looking for granite, quartz, or anything else. Window treatments from plantation shutters to whatever else suits your fancy. It's Grenada Home Center, 1301 Sunset Drive, Suite H in Grenada. Call them at 662-226-3127. You've got a week left for your Christmas shopping. You're down to the final week. Fret not. Go to Arnett's Fine Jewelry, fourth-generation jeweler located in the Lamons Jewelry Building, North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. If you are looking for jewelry, they've got it at Arnett's. Whatever you're looking for, they'll help you. Great customer service. They'll wrap it really pretty and everything, and no one will know that you waited until the last minute when you go to Arnett's, because they want to be your jeweler. I can't say that word. If you're shopping for the Ole Miss fan in your life, I suggest the College Corner. They've got 2 locations in Jackson, 1 in Oxford. You can also go to collegecornerstore.com. Whatever you're looking for, they've got it. Scott and the people at College Corner are going to take great care of you. And again, if you're shopping for the Ole Miss fan in your life, collegecornerstore.com. Call Argent Welts 401k Advisory Services team today. They'll conduct a complimentary, no-obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Argent Wealth on the on Blue Sky Live. It used to be Oxford Excellent Podcast. Get 10% off your first year's fees. We're also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you are trying to plan a trip that you want to create a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with John. And just give him some parameters, give him a budget. He'll come up with options that you're probably not going to find on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. Get the beautiful and healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com.
At Citizens Bank, you're not just an account number, but a valued member of the community. And now if you find yourself in the market for a mortgage, another reason to give them a try. Whit Wilson and BB Know in the mortgage space, now at the Citizens Bank, ready to help you with your real estate goals. Stop by and visit 902 Sisk Avenue, Suite E. Discuss your options with Whit or any of their experienced bankers. Also, ask about the School Spirit debit cards. They donate an amount per every transaction to the local school of your choice, whether it's Oxford, Lafayette, or Regents. That's the Citizens Bank, PHILA.com. Gator Bowl prep. Not much there. I'm going to spend about 15 seconds here, but we wrote it down yesterday and didn't get to it, so I'll just say that.
That was very uninspired from
they're gonna,
all parties.
They're going to
yesterday.
practice. They're going to play. The line is sitting around 14.5, 15 as of this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, laying more than 2 touchdowns in a bowl game is typically a little weird, but one team has no quarterback.
Yeah. I don't know.
How long do you think Jackson Dart plays?
Into the second half.
Is he playing for a record, or is he playing to get to a certain point, or is he playing until he gets bored?
I genuinely do. I think he is probably part of a dying breed of people that played at a school for a long time. I think the things that he says about Ole Miss and Lane are very genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's seeing it through.
I think he is finishing something the way that he thinks it should be finished. I think there is obviously some very clear melancholy a little bit right now that what could have been.
It's tough, yeah.
What they think should have been. Lane referenced it again yesterday, how close they were to this being a completely different show today, where we're talking about a playoff game on Friday night in Vaught Hemingway, a playoff game on Saturday afternoon in Vaught Hemingway. I mean, we were really close to it. I think the Tennessee-Ohio State game would have been the Saturday night game no matter what. But that game might not have existed if Ole Miss were in it. So,
yeah.
But they're not. And so there's some of that that's clearly lingering. But I think that I think everybody generally is trying to do this the right way. And there's a lot of I credit that. And then Lane did some sales pitching yesterday, talking about they're kind of, I think, trying to position themselves a little bit as the Alabama of the portal, where you come to Ole Miss and you get developed and you improve your draft stock. And
he's got some evidence.
Yeah, he's beginning to have some empirical data to support that. Paul and Princely. And
they are managing big ego, big players well.
So far.
Yeah,
so far. Yeah. So I think you saw some of that happening with his comments. And yeah. Again, he had a couple of big picture questions that he answered. I had follow-ups, but I just didn't feel like it was the right, I don't know. Like, I could have kept going. Like, well, what are the negatives? And I think I already know them. And like Lane said, he's like, look, no one's coming to him going, hey, solve this. So he doesn't, therefore,
he doesn't have to really sit around.
He doesn't spend a lot of energy on the fine details. But I think we can all look at this deal with the Penn State quarterback and go, this is broken.
Yeah, Penn State's going to play a playoff game with one quarterback.
Their other quarterback, literally, this is possible. Subscribe to rebelgrove.com. There's some details at rebelgrove.com. But he could spend the end of the week when he would have been in College Station getting ready, or what's it called?
Happy Valley,
wherever, getting ready for a game. He could spend it visiting 2 9-3 SEC programs, Missouri and Ole Miss. I mean, good for Missouri and Ole Miss, but come on. I mean, I think if you are an objective, rational human, you look at this and go, but why? Why couldn't he? And he wasn't just the clipboard holder. He played some. Why couldn't he be with his teammates? Why couldn't he play with his friends? It's a big game. They play SMU on national television in a playoff game.
But he thought he had to go ahead and do it now to maximize his ability for next season.
Well, to your point earlier.
You do. And you do.
The market's closing. You needed to get your spot, right? If you tell Missouri, hey, I'll come, but I can't come until our season's over, well, Drinkwitz might go, well, I get it, but, dude, I can't wait that long. I got to have a quarterback. Let's go get a quarterback. And now that spot fills. So I get it. I get where he's coming from. He went to his coach and was like, I kind of need to go do this. Drew Aller's coming back. He's going to be the quarterback at Penn State next year. I need to get in the portal, but if I wait for our season to end and we beat SMU on Saturday, well, now I'm playing on New Year's Day, and now all these spots are getting filled, and I don't have anywhere to go. I need to go knock this out now, which means I can't really go practice because I need to go visit. And the coach goes, you're right. It's kind of broken. I mean, I think if you could take
this started with Dillingham going, I get it. We don't have our players.
Yeah.
And then here you are.
And so, but Dillingham had an advantage. They didn't play a first-round game.
Yeah.
So Dillingham,
he doesn't even know his opponent yet.
He's like, we're not playing until at the earliest New Year's Eve. We don't even know our opponent yet. So, yeah, you guys go knock these visits out. I can be gracious here.
And then come back.
And I'm not saying he's not genuinely gracious.
Yeah.
From all accounts, Kenny Dillingham's a really good dude.
Yeah, but he was not on a clock in the same way.
Yeah, but he's like, go ahead and do it now. Knock it out. I don't really care if you miss these these
whatever we're doing
faux
here.
Practices. Surely you can hop on a bench press somewhere and run a little bit. Go do your visits, figure out where you're going, line up your contract, then come on back and let's help the Sun Devils here.
Yeah.
Right? And then we'll figure this out. Well, this kid didn't have that option because they play Saturday.
Yes.
And again, it's broken. And Lane says it. Franklin says it. All these people say it. At some point, everybody's got to sit down and go, okay, well, if it's broken, shouldn't we try to fix it?
Ole Miss's quarterback situation is one of the more intriguing ones that you have as far as how you handle it, because Austin Simmons is going to get paid like QB1. He is the quarterback going into next season.
Let's be transparent here.
Yeah.
Because had you played hardball as Ole Miss with Austin Simmons, he's probably the quarterback at another SEC school right now.
He got really good offers from another SEC school.
At least one.
Yeah, maybe more. I don't know. Yeah. But one in particular.
But at least one.
Yes.
And I don't blame that school for offering him. They saw the Georgia thing. They knew his pedigree. And they're like, hey, you're probably not getting paid QB1 numbers right now because Dart's getting paid those numbers, right?
Yeah.
And the answer is probably like, well, yeah. Okay, well, we'll pay you and we'll hand you the job. At which point, I'm sure that he and his people in some way went to Ole Miss and was like, hey, what's up?
And Ole Miss is going to pay him like a guy who's a starting quarterback in the SEC.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money off one drive against Georgia.
And the current market.
And his current market, and the fact that, yeah, you don't want to lose him, so you have to make him the dude. And then you get probably a slight discount because he hasn't started a game in the SEC yet. I mean, you can't pay him like Dart or Beck or somebody coming in the same market they would have today.
It's another reason why if I'm laying on the Gator Bowl, I kind of just want Jackson to play.
And just go.
Because what if Austin comes in and plays 2 quarters and throws 4 touchdowns and looks like Dan Marino out there, and all of a sudden, I mean, hey, look, there's nothing pending. There's nothing that stops Austin from – I'm not saying this is going to happen, but let's use him as an example. There's nothing stopping him on January the 3rd from going, screw it, I think I could make double. I'm getting in the portal.
Well, point being here is Ole Miss has to, given what they're trying to do, Austin Simmons is your quarterback, and there's going to be a intangible handoff of that in some ways on the second from Dart to Simmons. But when you look at their quarterback room right now, it's him and A.J. Maddox.
Yeah.
And that's it. Those are the quarterbacks. So you have to go get somebody who can compete, but probably knows they're not the starter because you're giving Simmons the leader of the team and all that stuff. But they have to be capable enough to win games in case Simmons does something and gets injured or whatever, or just
and right
it is what it is.
And those people are costing $1 million.
That's my point. So you end up paying for a guy that you know you're probably not playing unless something goes wrong.
Yeah.
And they're really expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to pay you because you have some capability, but I also have to pay you even though you're probably sitting on my bench and holding a clipboard.
Yeah.
And signaling in.
You're an insurance policy.
Yeah.
But if you're Ole Miss and you don't, and maybe they do, I don't know. If you don't trust A.J. Maddox, and this is probably where Lane would get, if we could have a real conversation, he would probably say, it's the guy like Maddox is the reason that I need spring football. I need to get him ready, and I can do it in the spring.
Or even see what I have. Can he be the backup in a worst-case scenario?
Right.
I don't even know.
Yeah, maybe I need to find out.
Yeah. What have I got here?
Yeah, because they probably have a clue, but I don't know that they know we're like, oh, yeah, I'm willing to bet on this. And so it's kind of, it's kind of, again, it's really broken. It's not
ideal.
It was never supposed to be like this, and now it's going down this road in a
little suboptimal, as Rupi says. It's
and like, look, Simmons. Let's say Simmons has just this monster season next year. I don't know what's the market look like that. What is the market for him? He throws 38 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions next year.
I mean, he technically can go pro.
He could go pro.
He's in his 3rd year next year.
But shit, he could
make some coin in college.
I mean, there are legitimate rumors that Quinn Ewers has offers north of $6 million to play college football next year. It's real. Specific rumors. The more specific the rumor, the more I tend to believe it. It's out there. I believe it. I'll tell you that I believe if the football gods came down and said true or false, gun to head, I'd say true. I'd close my eyes, but I'd say true.
Closing your eyes wouldn't help.
You wouldn't know because it'd be gone. But I think I'd rather have my eyes closed in that moment.
I understand.
Gratis insurance is a scam. I could go on a health insurance tirade right now. It's not worth it. But
you didn't feel happy for Phil Longo?
I felt nothing one way or the other.
Okay, you didn't seem overly celebratory. You're very even keeled by him getting a head coaching job.
He didn't really like me.
Did he like anybody?
I don't know. He liked you.
I think he had so little of an interpretation of who I even was that's how I got them. Like, I don't even know that it sunk in of who I was to send those things.
You were on the Christmas card list.
I was.
I did not get a Christmas card. He glared at me a lot.
Well, I mean, you asked the press conference questions that Hugh asked you to ask over your shoulder that day. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
I asked one. I didn't ask them all.
I mean, we have said this, but I mean, there is a teleconference speaker in the middle of the room, and Freeze is hanging over shoulders going, hey, ask him about
the effing worst.
Ask him. Go ask him. It's like,
in the box of gear. Oh, my God. It's like someone asked us the other day for our Mount Rushmore of covering Ole Miss, and my Mount Rushmore is probably not what they would imagine.
Well, when I saw that text, my thought was, do you want, like, the absurd moments, or do you want, like the cool? I can be boring on the cool stuff, or do you want to hear, like, where I went, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Those are different lists.
Yeah.
Those lists are different.
Most of my Mount Rushmore is Hugh.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
That tenure is
I knew right away Houston was just paranoid. Right? I mean, I just knew that right away. The Hugh Freeze tenure was the one that was like, wow, this is wild.
Houston was a known and safe thing because you knew where he was, you knew what he was, and you knew that he really didn't think he could win 11 games. So he boxed himself in and thought he was just going to ride off into the sunset. And Houston thought he'd never lose to State and he'd win 7-8 games and everybody be happy enough. And we'll go to some Music City Bowls and go to a Cotton Bowl and call it a day. And then that didn't happen. Everybody tried to tell him in 2009, you haven't played State with Ole Miss on the chest over there yet. No, not the same thing. And he was arrogant as hell. Arrogant as hell. No, we beat him 10 years in a row. It's like, okay.
But he was one of those people. He surrounded himself with people that kissed his ass.
Yeah.
I mean, so he was
all of his awesome people. We got it. Don't worry.
He was very insulated.
Okay.
Yeah, very insulated.
Dan Mullen got bored.
Yeah, and Dan Mullen's a better coach than him.
He is.
I mean, bottom line,
he's making $3.5 million at UNLV.
He'd probably do well there.
Yeah, he will. Come back. We'll do that for the last segment. Declaration of Independence Center for the Study of American Freedom is located on the Ole Miss campus and aims to explore and examine the fundamental and founding principles of the United States of America. They offer an academic minor in freedom studies and scholarship opportunities for Ole Miss students that bring along lots of networking potential. To learn more, contact Stephen Scoltetti at freedom@olemiss.edu or visit independence.olemiss.edu.
Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Andy Ludicky can help. He is a longtime franchise veteran. He owns multiple franchises and businesses. He uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy, put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. It's myperfectfranchise.net or Andy at myperfectfranchise.net, 404-973-9901. If you are going to some of the parties and stuff this week and you are a beer drinker, look for Parrish Brewing Company based out of Broussard, Louisiana. Their simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it. They really do it. They got Dr. Juice. It's the IPA. It's fantastic, 6% ABV. Got a double IPA called Ghost in the Machine. That is probably my favorite beer. Lots of people's favorite beer. It's absolutely fantastic, whether it's in a bottle or on draft. Got a lot. If you're looking for beer, look for Parrish Brewing Company. Elevate your game day sock look with Dead Soxy. If you're looking for a Christmas gift, also you can get a sockscription, a gift certificate from our friends at Dead Soxy. It's deadsoxy.com. I'll have a mailbag to you in a few hours. It's brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. If you're thinking of making a move, put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. It's Art Hayes. Get in touch with him, 612-805-5929, or email him at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com. We'll have picks up tomorrow. They're brought to you by Kaiser Flooring. They got locations in Oxford and Batesville. They provide outstanding quality flooring products and installation services to residential and commercial properties. It's the leader in hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile flooring, as well as carpeting. KaiserFlooring.com, 2 locations in Oxford or Batesville. And we're brought to you by Meadowbrook Wealth Advisors of Raymond James. It's a full-service investment team based in Jackson, providing financial planning and investment management to clients across the state and surrounding areas. Ryan Geary and his partners are a local team. They utilize the strength and resources of a national firm to bring their clients an impeccable level of service. This includes access to investment strategies, portfolio managers not available to all investors. So email Ryan at ryan.geary@raymondjames.com or give him a call, 601-368-2215. Raymond James and Associates Incorporated, member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC.
The men's clinic is in Madison and Brandon. That's 601-607-7869 in Madison, or themanthing.com is the web address to go check them out. They want to make sure their patients remain as healthy and as strong as possible throughout the aging process. They optimize testosterone, improve sleep, reduce inflammation, treat insulin resistance, and much more. So look, start at the end of the year, New Year's resolutions and things coming here pretty soon. So good time to get checked out. I did it, making a lot of changes, found things that were legitimately wrong with me, and you can do the same thing. You go down there, first appointment. After that, they can work on you from anywhere. Again, that is themanthing.com, 601-607-7869. Weren't we both, I think I have this right, weren't we both at holiday parties the night Longo had that playoff game with Sam Houston, and things started going haywire even before he got hired?
Yeah, we broke the story early in the day. We actually saw the contract. We broke the story, and then both of us were at separate parties where that game ended up being on TVs, and people,
that's right.
They were abysmal.
They got their ass kicked, and they were all so bad on offense.
Well, and if you remember, like, Freeze panicked. Like, supposedly they almost got out of the deal, almost changed their mind, which led to the press conference announcing him, and Hugh trying to spin it from day one.
Well, because he was, it was the perfect scapegoat. Yeah, go call the plays. He'll step in, save the day. Like, it was set up. It was ready.
Yeah.
He was all right there.
Yeah.
Told you, I think it was so bad just around everything right then. Like, I said that the day that Dan Werner got fired, I saw him like two hours later at lunch, and he was so happy he looked like. Like, I think there was that, you never want to be fired, but I think you have that where you went, this is no longer my problem, and I'm going to get paid. Yeah. He was like ordering a bottle of wine. And it was like, lunch was good. Yeah. I think Dan was doing all right that day.
I think he'd had enough Hugh. He'd had his fill of Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
Insert joke here. I know.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Feel, you said.
Either way.
Either way.
Either way.
Either way.
The box of gear day, I was covering baseball in Tuscaloosa because you called me to tell me about it while I was at the game that day.
It was so bad. I just remember thinking, this is wow. Spring of 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Big box of gear. If you guys are going to be out here, you need to be dressed appropriately. And I thought, you have got to be kidding. This is not about to happen. And then it happened.
It's good stuff. Team issued stuff. Nike.
I walked away from that like it was a pit of rattlesnakes. Some of our colleagues dove in. You would have thought it was a buffet.
It was.
In many ways, it was.
It was the same day that I was hungry. I went down to get some kind of snack at the concession stand in Tuscaloosa at Soul Thomas, and I just ordered popcorn, and they handed it to me in a full-size Alabama custom batting helmet as a collectible. And I'm walking back into the press box, and I've got this huge crimson batting helmet full of popcorn. Awesome. I'm like, oh, my God. Like, yeah. I'm dying. I'm like, oh, Jesus. 2012, 11, I think that calendar year, if you go through like a 14-month period, I still think it's held up as the most surreal year on the beat.
Yeah.
Because you get all the 2011 noise I mean, Pete Boone calling something unacceptable during the end of a game, when Pete never said anything.
2016-2017 challenges it pretty strong.
But it's in your face. It's probation,
Well, that's true.
and it's you know.
And it was nasty.
You know the score. 11 and 12 was this thing that
people were up in their feelings in 2016-2017.
Yeah. Totally different deals. Lane Kiffin has been the calmest coach Ole Miss has had. Not close.
Oh, yeah, not even close.
Just a football team.
I've covered Lane Kiffin now for 5 seasons and haven't had one altercation. And that's a world record for me. Not even an argument. Not even anything where I'm like, man, like, you're an ass. Like, nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, the 2011 Egg Bowl, Mark, was like Houston Nutt's like day in hell because he was wearing like the flat bill and it was raining and water was just dripping off the hat. And State won the game 31-3. And
remember the press box?
I do.
And you were like, what?
Yeah, State scored the first touchdown, and he slammed his hand on the table. Yeah, you went, What did you expect tonight? Because that's a pretty good State team. And it was like
you walked into a McDonald's and ordered a filet, and they delivered a quarter pounder with cheese, and you threw a fit. You're like, you got exactly what you should have gotten. I mean, you're in McDonald's. They served you McDonald's. I just remember being cold. Like, let's hurry up. Let's get to the end.
It was really cold that night.
And Houston was so resigned.
Neal only got half the Muscadine Ripple that night because it was really cold and just couldn't.
No, I couldn't believe people were actually eating ice cream in that cold. I could not imagine.
It was there. You get Muscadine Ripple.
I didn't. You could have had an Asian masseuse come serve it to me, and I would have turned it down. It was too cold.
They do make excellent cheese.
They do make good cheese.
It's excellent cheese.
It's terrific.
Yeah, it is.
Credit where credit's due.
I know a lot of people get it for people for Christmas to go down and get it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. No shame there at all.
But it was so cold. We went down and talked to Houston. And by then we'd all kind of said our quote goodbyes, I think.
The weird day, I don't know why we're doing this, but it's fine. It's Wednesday before Christmas. The weird day of that entire week, 2 weeks, was the Tuesday, or it wouldn't be Tuesday because I guess they played on Thanksgiving. I don't know when the day of the game was. The interview day leading into that game, because you literally could see all of Houston's moving boxes like in the room across like in that office area. And then do you remember how pissed the other players were, like Cody and Denzel and the guys that ended up hanging around, but they were available that week going into that game, and everybody was so miserable.
Yeah.
And just
in
this,
you know what, man? I think November of that year, I've kind of blacked it out because that was back we had full practice access.
Yeah.
And I was determined to be professional and be accountable and show up. And I would get these death stares for the whole time. And you're like, why am I even out here? That was miserable. It was like time stood still. And they were practicing at night.
Yeah,
remember that?
That's right.
The practices were like...
And Houston never told you the right time it was ending.
Yeah.
It would run 20, 30 minutes late.
Yeah. And so you're doing interviews at like 7:30 on those practice fields, and it's basically pitch black. And
that's right.
And you didn't really have any questions, but you were just sort of there. No, I don't, to be honest with you, that last week, I don't remember it. By that point, I had completely blacked it out. And what I do remember was like that last few days, a couple of those guys came up to me kind of quietly and were like, hey, sorry this kind of went the way it did, and it was like, nah, it's all good. And it was like, you knew, like, I think I told you, who was the strength and conditioning coach? Decker?
Don Decker.
He came up to me in the gym months later, and I thought at first it was going to be like an altercation, but he was like wanting to clear the air.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, there was never a problem. I just did my job. And he was like, well, we were kind of directed. And I was like, well, I figured as much. But
I guess the reason I remember it is that I remember all those young guys who, and now again, transfer portal, there was no portal, rules are way different, all this stuff. And Eric, I got your super chat, I'll go in a second. Is they stayed. And Denzel staying leads to Robert and leads to having a good year in 12. And like, it was rough. And
no, I mean, for all the Hugh Freeze blasphemy, I will say this for the gazillionth time. The coaching job that he did starting in early December 2011 through the end of 2012 remains to this day one of the most brilliant coaching jobs I have ever observed.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Incredible. What he got out of that team, what he did for that program in 12 months. In amazing, frankly. Goes down as one of the best coaching jobs I have ever witnessed.
That was a broken, dead program at the end of 11.
Pulseless. It had no pulse.
And got buy-in and some dudes and the whole thing. Wheeled their way to a 6-6 season that they didn't have the talent for.
7-6. Won the bowl game.
True. They won the bowl game.
Took 30,000 people to a bowl game.
In Birmingham.
At Legion Field with the game finishing at night.
It's true. Beat Aaron Donald's ass. Didn't beat him personally, but
yeah.
Eric, legally, thanks for Super Chat. He says, legally, could the NCAA reinstate a rule that says a player has to miss 6 games after they transfer? I mean, they would lose in a court in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
could try.
You could try. I don't think it's enforceable, which leads
Nothing is enforceable anymore.
Kind of leads to the whole Diego Pavia conversation.
Yeah. Probably talk about that tomorrow because we only have so many games to go over with Mr. Wright.
That's true.
So we have a morning of college football talk tomorrow. But yeah, no, I mean, look, could you try? Sure. But in this world right now, the NCAA apparently can't win a court case unless it's against Ole Miss. So I don't really know how this operates right now.
The Barney thing?
Yeah. And look, I really like Barney. I'd like for him to win and be protected and all those things. You don't want the NCAA seen as a state actor. That would be a very poor precedent in general. That you think the NCAA is operating at the state's interest. That's not good. So macro wise, that's a different deal there. But anyway. All right. Eric, thank you. Thanks everybody from the stream for hanging out with us today. Again, we'll talk to Jeffrey tomorrow, and then next week is off, by the way. It's Christmas week.
Yeah.
I don't think we probably even had to say that, but just FYI. I mean, Neal might jump on here on Christmas night, but otherwise, we will
I hadn't done that in a few years.
Really?
I did it a few years ago, and then hadn't done it in a few years.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll let you know if
I make no promises one way or the other.
Yeah. But we'll let you know. But thanks today, MPW Digital, rebelgrove.com for any portal activity, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow morning.